Ah! What a palaver. Everything seemed to go wrong just as I was about to hit go. How is everyone today? Today is Wednesday? Right? I'm so sleepy already. I think it's one of the first times I've streamed and it is daytime, or it's light outside at least. I'm a little confused. I feel all baffled. Oh, what was I gonna do? I was gonna do something and that's not what I was gonna do. Are you all ready for spreadsheets? I'm ready for spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets. I was actually kind of looking forward to this one, just because I like talking about my spreadsheet. You haven't spent money in 24 hours? I feel like you need a badge or a sticker for that, to be honest. You need something to say well done. I know we promote and joke about poor financial choices in the server, but maybe we need to promote some the other way around as well. When you don't spend your money. And we get proud of you. You've not managed to spend money for, I don't know, 7 days to get a badge, a special badge, or roll or something. Or I can take the roll away. I'd like to be able to take the roll away. Is the stream going to be uploaded afterwards? I'll always leave the streams up as long as I've not accidentally shown something I shouldn't show. For the most part, which I think I'm mostly good at doing. I feel like you do it once and then you don't do it again. You're a lot more careful about doing it again. Oh yeah, there is that light novel bundle in Manchester. I showed it to Ben, but I think he's got enough in the bundle already that it's not really worth it. Even though Manchester's not that far from us. So like 30 minutes. Pre-orders don't count, that is true. But they will count when you have to pay for them. Is what you have to remember. What I will do first, if I can, is throw out the free subscriptions that I get from YouTube, because might as well throw them out because they're free, and then you get emotes. Oh, they've got another 5. I don't know if there's how many people are in chat, if there's enough who are interested. You get early access to videos as well. You're gonna see when I show you my spreadsheet, because I track my videos using my spreadsheet as well, and you'll see how much early stuff there's gonna be for members. I filmed 3 videos this week. I'd have filmed 4. I'd be filming another video tomorrow if UPS didn't mess up my delivery. So annoyed. Can I please reschedule for Wednesday? And this was Sunday. And then I got an email today going, yes, we've rescheduled it for Friday. And I'm like, that's not Wednesday, is it, UPS? Anywho. Well done to all those that got the free ones. I hope you like the emotes. If you're not bothered about the early access videos, that's cool still. But you get some fun emotes while you're here, including the kitty glow stick emote, which is the best. Okay. Let's just dive into spreadsheet. Does anyone here already have a manga spreadsheet themselves? Can I do? Should that be? No. I've done a poll! How exciting! And then I closed the poll, so I can't see it. I'm an idiot. So, like, I mean, yeah, I'll open it and then start going on my spreadsheet rambles. I'm trying to think how much of my spreadsheet has changed since my last live stream. I don't think it's changed a crazy amount. But sometimes it's nice to just go over things again and, like, if anyone has questions. I was also, depending on how sleepy I end up feeling, I might also put together a blank one, because that's something I've been asked for quite a few times and I've just never gotten around to it, in case people want to use it for themselves. Or pick and choose parts out of it without having to open my horrific one. I think I'm just most annoyed about this Scifier order because UPS have just been atrocious with it. Like, the day before it was meant to be delivered on Monday this week, even though I rescheduled it and they'd like said yes, we've rescheduled it, they still attempted delivery and then like scheduled it and then said yes for Wednesday, and then it got to today and like 2 hours ago they were like, yep, it's coming Friday. And I'm like, I'm not here Friday, which is why I chose Wednesday. Not that it's like the biggest of deals, I just have to wait a few more days. But it messed up my plans for filming. Is it the big order? Yes, it's the one I did on stream. It's like 30 kilos or something. Or 15 or 20. Somewhere between 15 and 30 kilos of manga. I feel like I feel like every person you talk to has a different delivery company they have issues with. Mine is usually UPS or DPD. I love Royal Mail. My Royal Mail delivery people are amazing and they're so nice. And it always works. And weirdly, sometimes Every is mostly fine, though Hermes didn't used to be fine. Which I don't understand, because isn't it just the same thing rebranded? I don't know. But DPD and UPS. DPD messed up one of my orders so bad it got marked as delivered when it hadn't, and that was a real pain because there was nothing I could do because the contract for the delivery wasn't with me, it was with the person I bought from, so I had to end up calling them, get them to resort my delivery. I think part of it just depends on what part of the country and who it is that fulfills your orders, because some people will be nicer or better than others and all that jazz. Okay, let me check my spreadsheet if I can. Now, why does that not want to work? Let me just remember how to do the thing that I am trying to do. I can hear a cat crying. Oh gosh. Yes, Mika, we can hear you. Ooh. Hello, cat. Meh meh. Meh meh. I feel like everything's just gone wrong. Everything I've touched today has just broken. One of the reasons I was late was my monitor wouldn't turn on. And then I couldn't get my camera to connect properly. It was just a never-ending plethora of problems that drove me up the wall. Okay, here we go. Almost. I hope you like formulas and colourful panels, because this is like 90%. Okay. You should now be able to see my spreadsheet. I hope. Oh, there was some messages. You've never tried a spreadsheet, but you've got an app that scans your books. Which do you think would be easier? I think that's personal preference. If I would say, what do you want? That's like the first question you gotta ask with your spreadsheet. What do you want out of your spreadsheet? Do you want to be the reason I have a spreadsheet over using an app like, is it Liblab is one of them, where you can scan it either with a scanner or with like just camera on your phone. The reason I like having my own is I like to have my data and manipulate it exactly how I like to manipulate it. If you're not that bothered, if you just say want to track what you track what you're reading, track what you collect, if you think the app would be easier, then use the app. And scanning the barcodes is a lot of fun. I did attempt to put my collection into Libib and then gave up after I hit the B's. Because I'd start getting new stuff and I'd forget to put it in, and then I have no idea what's scanned anymore. I want to, because as I've said I think a few times, my manga collection is not the only book collection in this household. I want to try and scan everything else, all the other books, into one of those. Because like my mother's cookbook collection, sometimes she calls me and is like, do I have this book? And I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea if you have this book. But if I'd scanned everything, she'd be able to look without pestering me. I mean, yeah, so she can stop pestering me. I did actually find, I don't know if anyone else found it with the app scanning. I found 1 in 5, 1 in 6, it would get the barcode wrong and I'd have to enter it manually or search for the ISBN. And especially when I was attempting to scan, I must have had about 6,000 volumes at the time. I was like, nah, can't be arsed with this. I'm not doing this. I've had some other thoughts of things I could do with my spreadsheet with automation and stuff, but I think for me, the scanning just isn't going to be as helpful as just entering manually the way I do. But for a lot of other people, it potentially would be. But that doesn't mean you might not find this interesting, tracking sort of things you read, or you might potentially find having a bit of both could be useful for whatever reason. Is the stream in 480p? It shouldn't be. Though I am having some problems with this PC, it's getting on a bit. I need to replace some parts. Unfortunately, technology is one of those few places where I'm remarkably cheap and lazy, considering I'm a software engineer. But because I am streaming more, I do need. I keep being like, oh yeah, this PC isn't that old. It's from 2015, which then I remember that's almost 9 years, and then I cry a little. You've read 0.1%. Can you see my percentage? That's my percentage, though that doesn't include Ben's reads either. It's definitely dropped. I'm struggling to read recently because I'm so busy. I desperately want to read more. So bad. Can you get spreadsheets on your phone? Yes. So that's one of the reasons I like using Excel. I have, I don't know how easy that I'll show. I have a tab or a little icon for my Excel, for my Manga spreadsheet on my phone. And then when I click on it, and it loads, there we go. I can see the exact same thing. Ooh. Ish. If it does, it's too glary, isn't it? If I turn the brightness down. You can kind of see it's the exact same thing on my phone. So that's why I like it. Has Ben done a light novel collection tour before? He has. We did one last year. It was, I think, one of my longest videos on my channel ever. I'm not sure if it still is. The Scifier one might have overtaken it. I can't remember. Not including live streams. But Ben has gotten a lot since for birthdays, Christmas, but I think it was still decent length tour. But yeah, you can use Excel on your phone. Excel is free. There is Google Sheets as well. The reason I prefer Excel over Google Sheets is, well, first off, I work-wise work a lot with Microsoft and Microsoft technologies, so I already have access to the Office suite anyway, but you can use Excel for free online, but also Excel is much more powerful than Google Docs. Excel is starting to struggle with my formulas. I can't use it in the browser anymore. Google Docs would not, I couldn't open my spreadsheet in Google Docs. If you have a smaller collection and there's less formulas and stuff, you're probably fine. It's just when you hit stupid numbers like me, my silly numbers, where Google Docs starts to fall over, but for the most part, there isn't too much difference, to be fair. Either or. Depends what you fancy. The formulas aren't quite the same, so I don't know how easy it is to lift and shift if you nick any of my formulas into Google Docs. I can't imagine it's too different. There's probably just different function names more than anything. Maybe a different parameter, but like the gist of how it works is probably quite similar, I'd assume. You wouldn't scan, that's why you use Goodreads. I didn't know that you could use like Goodreads to track anything. I assumed it was just reviews, which is why I just never bothered looking at it for whatever. I'm not even sure if I have a Goodreads account. Maybe. You have small collections, so spreadsheet is easy to glance through and update. I mean, that is also true. I mean, first and foremost, it's just what do you think is going to be easier for you? Do you think it's going to be easier to have an app or something that tracks some of it for you? Or do you want something like this where you can just drop in the info yourself and all that kind of jazz? That's what we're gonna when I show you the next few tabs. Yeah. What kind of phone do I have? I have a good 8 Pixel 8, I think. I didn't feel too bad. I'm also really shit at buying new phones, but I don't mind. Well, I ended up kind of having to buy a new phone because I used my phone to record, and I completely knackered my old phone from recording. It was overheating, it didn't charge properly, it is like in pieces almost. Because of me filming damn videos! So I was like, it's an investment to the channel, is what I told myself. Doesn't track much other than reading. There are better apps with actual statistics. That was the thing. I think, well, I mean, originally, we're back in day when I first started tracking my spreadsheet. I had a OneNote. Then it was just a page with just a list of the series I had and then which volumes I had next to it. And I probably had that till I had like 1,000 volumes, which is slightly crazy. But also back then, most of the series I collected were very long series, like One Piece or Naruto or Fairy Tail. So I didn't actually have too many like entries, which made it a little less bad-ish. But for the most part, that it was when I hit 1,000 that I was like, I'm gonna make my spreadsheet. So, spreadsheet, ta-da! This is my spreadsheet. This is my summary page with just some neat stats based around my collection. We've got like how many volumes I've read in the last so many days. I've not been doing too good. Please forgive me. I'll be less busy one day. If you're in the Discord, I do a lot for the Discord. Remember that. How many I've read so far this year, and that's a formula that is dynamic in that I don't have to go tell it the year has changed. It works. It's like, how many have I read in the current year, and the same for the month. Both of these are formula that currently they just replicate a cell in another tab, which we'll get to shortly, the stats tab down here. But for the most part, they are dynamic, which means I don't have to do anything. They'll just automatically keep updating themselves as long as I keep putting my reads in with the date. Then we've got top publishers, which is how many series I have from these publishers, and these are my top 3 publishers, which is crazy how many 7Cs I have in comparison to like Viz. Same with Yum Press, how many Yum Press I have in comparison to Viz. How many series I have from each demographic. Rip Jose. I like to think that the way I collect isn't. I don't collect some. I won't not collect it if it's a particular demographic. I would like to say that my collection is fairly spread out and like a nice representation of what there is available on the English market. Oh yeah, my camera does cover. My bad. If I scroll like that, there we go. I was just looking at the spreadsheet, my bad. I feel like it just sort of shows the sorry state of Jose in the English market, considering I mean it's got even less than half of shoujo. And then Shonen and Seinen are just cruising ahead in the distance there. And then we have number of volumes. So I have 2 numbers for this. So the top number includes my pre-orders and my bottom number doesn't include my pre-orders. And vaguely the same for series-ish. However, when I show you my manga sheet, you'll see there is a bunch of gaps in it at the moment, which is why this number is a bunch lower, because this relies on a field I haven't updated, which you'll see what I mean when we keep going. And then light novels, and that's Ben's. That's how many light novels Ben has. What else have we got on here? Top categories. Fansini Sky. They are my favourites. Average number of days to read from purchase is just because I track the date that I get the volume and the date that I read the volume, so I know how many days there are in between those 2 dates, and I do an average to work out roughly how long from getting the volume does it take me to read it. That used to be a solid 36, and it's now jumped up to 40 because I've been slower recently. Then we have the volumes state how many I've read, how many aren't read, how many are blocked, pre-ordered, and cancelled. Cancelled is if I'd ordered it and then cancelled, but I've been a bit too lazy to remove it from my spreadsheet, which I probably will do at some point, but it was just sort of an immediate, I know this is cancelled, so I can come back to it at some point and sort it out when I feel up to it. This gives me the average rating I have for any particular series, because every volume I read I rank between 1 and 10, and this then goes and finds every volume with this title and brings back an average. And then this brings out all this does is bring out a random series. Look at that horrific formula up here. Oh, and it's still a little broken. All this does is bring out a random series that has the status unread next to it. So it's like any volume in my table that's marked as unread, it suggests you could read this. And then here on the side, this is the 3 for 2 price on every recommended retail price. Yes, that's what do I mean? if you see a volume that is $10.99 in a store and you buy 3 $10.99s in a 3 for 2, that's how much it costs you for each volume. If you're buying $10.99, paying $10.99 for 2 volumes and you get 3 volumes, you're spending £7.33 a volume. That's what I mean. And I've added it to my spreadsheet because I realize I'm just doing that times by 2 divided by 3 so often in my calculator. If I just have it on my spreadsheet, it just makes it so easier to just go, okay, this is a $15.99 volume, okay, $10.66, because then that also gives me like a really quick, is this volume worth it, or can I get it cheaper in a 3 for 2? And not even just like in a 3 for 2 in store, like 3 for 2 online or whatever. And then I go all the way down to like, I think I just picked a random, I just kept dragging it down randomly. $31.99 isn't any particular reason. I was like, do I go any lower than $7.99? But I don't think there's any series now that publish that are cheaper than $7.99, upsettingly. Unless someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there is. Once upon a time, Viz volumes used to be $5.99. I was going to say back in my day, but they weren't when I started collecting manga. They were $6.99. I feel like the jump from $6.99 to $7.99 and then the jump to $8.99 has happened so quickly recently in like a couple of years, whereas I started collecting in 2010 and it was $6.99, and it took, what, 10 years to go up to $7.99, and then it took 4 years to go up to $8.99. If it goes up to $9.99 in 2 years, I might cry. I don't think I'd ever buy manga new again. I'll only buy second hand at that point. So that is the... Oh, and then I have my recent reads, which is just anything I've read over the last 2 days, which is... Is it just these 3? It might just be these 3. Yeah, I read The Medalist yesterday. Yeah, it might just be these 3 volumes. Medalist, Smoking Man in the Supermarket, and Tales of Tender Family. And then which volume. I don't often, over 2 days, read enough to spill out the bottom unless I'm doing like a reading stash for whatever reason. But yeah, and then right here at the bottom I have a search bar where if I can type, I'm not going to do it because the last time I did it when I was streaming I crashed the stream, so we're not going to do it because the PC is trying its very hardest. Okay, this search bar, you just type something in it, hit go, and it will filter my series table to bring back all the information. It is mostly just a replica of my manga sheet, which I will show you now. This is my manga sheet, which is in a little bit of disarray. It's a bit messed up, a little broken. There's some problems. There's a lot of gaps. It's not really that broken, there's just a lot of gaps. So this sheet represents the information for a manga series, and then I also have a tab that represents manga by volume. For example, for a manga series, I want to track category, demographic, author, artist, publisher, that kind of thing, how many volumes are in the series. Whereas for volume, I'll want to track what was my rating, when did I buy it, when did I read it, that kind of thing. What's its ISBN if I felt brave enough, potentially. So I tend to mostly live in this one, but it has got a lot of gaps that I need to update, as you can see. So when I add a new series like this, I just add a new row and then add which volumes I've gotten, and then at a later date I go through and update, add, look up information. So the key information I look up is the series ongoing? And if so, or is the series ongoing? Is it complete? If it's complete, how many volumes for it to be complete? If it's ongoing, then I want to see how many volumes are... Actually, let me zoom in a bit so you can really see these numbers and letters. If the series is ongoing, how many volumes are in print? And I want to know how many volumes are in print in Japan, not in English. In Japan or wherever it's published, not in English, because I want to know what is the potential count if I complete all these series. And I'm going to be optimistic that it will finish printing in English at least. And then, so what else do I track? So wait, start at the beginning. I track series title. How many volumes do I have of the series consecutively from volume 1? What is the status for the series? Am I behind? Am I complete? Am I up to date? Or is the series cancelled? If I have volumes out of order, like on this series, 07 Ghost, how many volumes do I have out of order after my consecutive from 1 to 3? So for example, I have volumes 1 to 3 and 5 to 16. So I have 1 to 3, and then how many volumes are in that 5 to 16 block? And that is not 12, it's 13. Is it 13? No, it is 12. Is it 12? Yes, it's 12. It's 12, so I add 12 into that, so then I can work out my total volumes owned, which is 15. And then I've got the out of order volume list, which is just, okay, what volumes of the series do I have that... So say if I'm in store and I'm like, okay, I see there's a volume of 07 Ghost, which volume is it that I'm missing? And I can look at that cell and be like, ah, I'm missing volume 4 and volume 17. Percentage owned. This is basically this number, total volumes owned, over the volume... And wait, no. Total volumes owned over... volumes in print. That's it. Total volumes owned over volumes in print is what the percentage owned is. But as you can see, it's a bit out of whack because basically sometimes what happens is I don't update this volumes in print column that often, and sometimes that volume will go above volumes in print, will end up being a smaller number than the volumes I own, at which point I'll end up with over 100% just because I've not updated this column. But I have conditional formatting set, whereas if that happens, it will highlight the cell in red, which will make it really obvious for me to go through and see which cells I need to go and update. So I do have a way of fixing that. And then this is my average rating for the series, which it just goes to the volume. As I said, it's the same as the summary page, where it just goes to the volume sheet and takes an average of all the ratings for that series. The category, which for the most part I mostly self-assign the category of a series. I don't know if that's controversial or not, because for me this spreadsheet is for me, and the point of this spreadsheet is for me to find things. So what I generally do is when I've read something, what for me was the key theme of the read, and that's generally why I assign it. And I know if people have gotten mad at me in the past because like, well, that's not actually what the genre of the series is, and it's like, okay, cool, it's my spreadsheet. And it helps me link series together. So say if someone says to me, oh, I read this and I really liked it, because of how I like categorize them with the category and subcategories, it'll be a lot easier for me to go, okay, well, if you like these, filter down my spreadsheet, you might also like this series. What letter of alphabet do you have the most manga? I actually do track that. It's on my stats. It's on my stat sheet, so we will be able to see it. It's such beautiful stats. Subcategory was basically entirely added so I could track isekai villainess titles. Genuinely. Demographic. There was a short while, I will admit I did this, where I didn't like having gaps in my spreadsheet. So if a series I couldn't find it having a demographic, I would give it a demographic. I don't do that anymore, but I also haven't gone back and removed the ones I did that for because I can't remember, to be blunt. But I was just so fixated on not having blank spaces in my spreadsheet. I was like, no, I can't do this. But I've mostly gotten over that, and I've come to peace with the fact that some series just don't have a demographic, because that is how demographics work. Demographics are not that deep, and it's okay to have gaps in your spreadsheet sometimes. Then I track author and artist. I used to just track one, and I just randomly chose if I put author or artist in the column. I wouldn't recommend that, potentially. I suppose it's up to you. And then publisher and imprint. So, for example, I track... So there are still some gaps. I know I went on a rant about I don't like gaps. But I track Easy Press, I track Ghost Ship, I started to track like Shoujo Beat, Shoujo Jump, and Signature, but I've just not finished putting the rest of those in. But I do want to track all of those as well. And then, yeah, volumes in print. And then I have just a whole bunch of mess off to the side, because this is my master play with the formulas. Like, what even is this? What is this formula I was trying to do up here? Pain. Pain is what I was trying to do. Any questions so far? It's okay if there's not, or if you're like, this is so gross, I've lost interest, don't talk to me. Well, I'm going to keep talking to you. Yes. So that is mostly the manga one. Something I quite like that I managed to get working properly is the colours. These colours here. The purple, the green, the red, and the yellow. That is based entirely on the status. Whatever is typed into this status cell. And it just helps me at a glance see whether a series is behind, complete, or up to date. Because especially for series that are up to date, they're like the ones that when I'm going manga shopping or anything, they're the ones that I'll want to check, oh, is there a new one of this? They're the ones I want to check first. What I did finally manage to get working was if I type and say add behind, I'm behind on this series, it auto magically colours the row, and it doesn't colour the whole row, it just colours the row, part of the row I want to be coloured, and it's... That made me so happy. It wasn't even that confusing, it was just a bit gross. Like, this one, I know I'm up to date, so it turns yellow. This one, I'm up to date, so it turns yellow. Beautiful. Isn't it so nice? That is also conditional formatting of some variety. I think it's... I don't know. There we go. It's just a formula in conditional formatting, which is if this cell here equals this, do this, and do it here, is basically it. And then the red, if the bar is red, it just means basically I've not gotten to it yet. I still need to do something with it. Is there a reason you don't delete the cells with broken formulas? For the most part, because I really hope to go back and actually try and work out why they weren't working. I hope to go back and keep playing with them, or fix them, or faff with them. Some of them aren't completely broken formulas. I tried playing with like splices, which is a way of just filtering it down, but I don't see how I find these any easier to use than, say, okay, I wanna see all the isekai. I know, I want to see all the isekai in my collection. Well, I just select isekai there. As long as it doesn't crash. There we go. And it would just filter down all my isekai. Or if I only want shoujo isekai, well, I just add 2 filters. And now I've got all my isekai that are also shoujo. And I haven't seen a particular reason that this wasn't easier for me to do than using these splices. Now the splices like reflect it, so they've kind of already they've also highlighted to reflect the way I've done my filtering. Just that's more, I think, personal preference. I find it not too bad to use the filters when I'm on phone as well, but I find them a bit trickier to I find the splices a bit trickier to use when I'm on phone, and then I can just clear the filters. Like that. I was really pleased with my conditional formatting. And then yeah, as I said, if any of these numbers go above, that'll highlight it as well. So this series, Abandoned Empress, I don't know why I have it marked completed at 6. That's not right. I'm not sure how many it is at the moment, but it isn't 6. But I've got 7 of this volume, and I have 6 marked here. So if I change this to 7, it'll clear the formatting. And then yeah, I also track cancelled. So there's a chance that I could potentially still get the second volume of this series if... I don't think it ever made it to the UK, but there is a second English volume. So I've put 2, but it was cancelled. So the cancelled ones I definitely am a lot less fussed about, like this one as well, also cancelled. Do I use the spreadsheet to keep track of bean counter? Do I use the spreadsheet to keep track of bean counter? Let's scroll all the way down. Here we go. Otherworld books depend on the bean counter. Up to date, 4 volumes. Average rating of 9.5. I love bean counter. But yeah, this just tracks my series count. So my series is... I got a lot of series. A lot. Yeah. Where does it stop? It stops there. 1,590 row. -1, I guess, for the titles. I don't know if that's right. Maybe? I think the main thing that I've had to do to make this work that I didn't really want to do, but it was the easiest way around it, I guess, is if I can remember my alphabet. Here. ReZero. Series that use chapters, which means there's multiple volume 1s. I have ended up keep tracking those as separate rows. Like ReZero has 4 chapters out at the moment, and each of those has a volume 1. That pains me because I don't like how it's organized. I'd rather just go ReZero and have a row, because ReZero is the series, but I can't track it nicely. And if I were to just go, well, okay, I'll just go ReZero and then go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd find it really confusing if I was in store looking at chapter 4 and be like, okay, which volume is it that I need? Because for me, the main point of this spreadsheet is to stop me buying duplicates. That is the main reason behind the spreadsheet, is to stop me buying duplicates. All the other stuff, tracking how much I've read and stuff, is great, and I still love it, and it is still up there in necessary why do I have a spreadsheet, but the number one reason is so I don't buy duplicates. And I include like that's one of the main reasons I definitely include my pre-order. So say I've pre-ordered something online and then I've gone in store and I'm like, what is it I've ordered? Did I pre-order that volume? I can't remember. I don't even think it's necessarily just a problem of I buy a lot. I know I buy a lot, but I just have an appalling memory. I have an atrocious memory, and I don't want to buy duplicates. Which is why, and I know it's a bit of a sore topic. I feel sometimes people can get a bit too sensitive. It's not that deep. When it comes to omnibuses, do you track an omnibus as 1 volume or 2 volumes? And it's a surprisingly controversial topic, isn't it? Considering it's just, did you read the book? So, in terms of omnibuses, actually, there's one right here. Here's one I prepared earlier. In terms of omnibuses, it's the same thing for me. I don't want to buy duplicates. So what I did actually, I was umming and ahhing for a long time because there's 2 types of omnibus that I would consider 2 types of omnibus. One is like Alice in Borderland, where the omnibus just says 1, 2, 3. Each omnibus is numbered sequentially. Then you have omnibuses that are numbered like Ranma and a half, which have 1-2 or 1 and 2, 3-4, or same with Kuroko no Basket, the same with can I see any more? Maid-sama. When it comes to those kind of volumes, I'm like, well, if I just count up from 1, I'm gonna get confused. If I need just the 5th Omni, which one is the 5th Omni? Yes, I know basically all I have to do is half the second number to work out which volume it is, but when you're in store sometimes and like it's hot and you're tired and Ben's like, I want to go eat food, and or the parking hasn't got much left on it, I'm like, oh, I don't know how to divide by 2 anymore. So my because I've like yo-yoed on how to do this in my spreadsheet a good dozen times, my compromise now is I track the individual volumes like this. So I have 11 Ranma and a half volumes, omnibus volumes. Just, this is a book, it is 1 Ranma and a half. And then in this column, I track it as the omnis. So I have the first 3 omnibuses of Ranma and a half. So in this column, I track it as 1 to 6. So if I were to go into a store and say Ranma and a half, 7, 8, I know I don't have that one. I know I don't have that one. So what I mostly just go by what numbers are on the spine, which I had someone tell me I was insane for doing that, and I'm like, I don't want to buy duplicates. That is like all I really care about. I don't care how many volumes on the inside. I don't care if you decide to count it as 1 or 2 reads. You do you, boo. You do you. It's not that deep. But for me, tracking and making sure I don't buy duplicates, this is the compromise I have brought to myself, which is tracking the spine numbers if they are different in this column. I'm trying to think of other series. I did it with Maid-sama, but I am now complete on that. I've done it with Real Account is a disgusting series. I haven't read it, but it is a disgusting series because it starts out as singles, it eventually moves to 3-in-1s before finishing in a 2-in-1. Why? Why, Kodansha, would you go single, 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 3-in-1, 3-in-1, 2-in-1? Why would you make me have so many different variations from one series? This is so confusing when trying to figure out how many volumes does this series have. If I go by the numbers on the spines, it's 24. If I try to figure out how many actual volumes that is, I have no idea, because some of them are singles, some of them are 3-in-1s, and some of them are 2-in-1s, and I don't know which ones are which. And Kodansha, the Kodansha 3-in-1s are hefty beasts that you just could brick someone on the head with. Oh dear god. What was I saying? That was a rant. Apologies. Can't imagine creating a spreadsheet if you had 5,000 plus volumes. So I did start just under 1,000. It did take me a while. The volumes tab, I had just over 2, almost 3,000 when I tracked that. That took me a little while to do. But now that I'm like into it, it's a lot less bad. It's really nice and cozy to just sit and do some spreadsheeting. I've had some people, but also I get some of the most angry comments, and I don't understand why someone got so angry at me because of the time I put into my spreadsheet. Like, they got actually mad at me, and it was the weirdest thing. It was like, are you okay? It's so strange for you to get mad at someone else for putting time into a manga spreadsheet. Dear god, calm down. Have I calmed down? Does it have 4 different logos on the spine too? No! So actually, I do love how Kodansha did spines when they moved to doing 3-in-1s or 2-in-1s. It's the way they do it. I'll post a picture in the server. Is they kind of keep it so it looks like they're individual spines. They're just a 2-in-1, but the spine of it is like split in 2 or split in 3 with the number on it. And like, if you were to squint a bit from a distance, you wouldn't be able to tell that they were actually omnibuses. I really, really like when they did that, because at least on my shelf it looks okay. I haven't liked it when they've swapped to an Omni partway through the series. That is just like, these publishers actively hate me if they do that. But the way the Kodansha did it, I actually did like it. I think they've done it for LDK, Real Account, Yamanda-kun, another one maybe? I can't remember. There's at least those three where they've done it with, and I kind of appreciate it. It felt like someone put a little bit of thought into it. How dare you enjoy this niche of your hobby? I know, how dare I have fun? How dare I have a wonderful time? I love my spreadsheet. When I get asked to do spreadsheet stuff at work, it is a true joy. It's wonderful. In fact, the search bar on my front page, on my summary page, wasn't done by me. It was by a fellow spreadsheet enthusiast that I work with. We were doing spreadsheets for work, and I told him about this one. He was like, "You have to show me now." And then I showed him, and he was so impressed by all the different information that I collected. It was honestly, he's such a nice person. Him being proud of my spreadsheet was like, honestly, the best thing ever. Oh, he's such a wonderful dude. Yeah, they were a pretty sad person. I'm fairly sure they must have been about 12 as well, because they had some other, it turns out, wild views, so I swiftly blocked them and moved on. Should you remove completed series from the spreadsheet to make it easier? I still want to track the data, and I mean, what I can do sometimes is just filter out, wait, no, like that. I can just filter out completed stuff. Not that bothered though. It's just, I love seeing the variety of colour sometimes. It's so nice. There's also a lot of Pokemon. When there's a lot of series where they're like single volumes, that does pay me a little as well. There's a lot of Pokemon one-shots from like movies or some video games. What else do I have a lot of one-shots from? I have a lot of one-shots from Manga Shakespeare, Manga Classics. I feel like these unnecessarily bulk my spreadsheet out more than I'd like. Zelda series I mind a little less because there's probably more series that have multiple volumes than don't. Are there any others? Oh, the Faku. The Faku really bulk this out because most of those are one-shots. There's a lot of one-shots in there. Yeah, but for the most part, this is like my baby. It's reached a point now where I use this to just track everything. This spreadsheet isn't even just tracking my manga, it's tracking everything in my life. But we'll move on to the next tab and I'll show you some more. Do you get overwhelmed sometimes with the spreadsheet? You collect volumes in order, that seems inconvenient and slow, but it stops you from getting overwhelmed. Sometimes I get overwhelmed. Sometimes if I've left it like a month because I've been sick or I've been busy for it or whatever. It's one, actually, you can see how many series because I don't think I've filled in publisher on any of them. If I show you all the series in this spreadsheet that I need to go through and look for data of, these are all the series that I've picked up or ordered recently that I don't have any data for apart from the volumes that I've bought. It is a little overwhelming, but sometimes I just try and do like 5 at a time, and it is really, really peaceful. Just a little slow. But I do find it could just slap a YouTube video on and just watch that data. Watch that data populate. That's one of my favourite things. But it can be. I just sometimes try to break it down. Like, okay, I've got a spare 10 minutes. I'll just do 5 more rows. Basically. But I genuinely just find this really calming. I love my spreadsheet. I have it open all the time. Like, even just sometimes to look at, to have in the corner so I can see it, because the colour just is so nice to see. Whenever you talk about books or manga, she always tells anyone about your spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are excellent. Spreadsheets are wonderful. I mean, I've been using them to like track work progress and stuff like that. And it just, you can do so much. And it's so nice seeing your data represented like this and seeing the colours and all that. Oh. Oh. Have I cultivated my collection to make room for newer series? Do you mean like unhauling or anything? Because I don't... Someone asked me this and I was like, have I unhauled anything? I've unhauled, I think, one series. And that is Fruits Basket singles from Tokyo Pop, because I decided to buy the collector's editions instead. And I didn't want to have two versions of the series, especially because I've not read it. And also the collector's editions are rainbow and colourful and look amazing. And actually are way easier and cheaper to pick up than the singles. I think that is the only series I've like actively unhauled, but I'm not sure it counts because I ended up with collector's editions anyway. For the most part, I'm not too bothered about unhauling at the moment. I am lucky enough to be in a space where I do have the space to store my problem. It is probably the best way to put it. I really am desperately trying to clean the house up to film a house tour at some point. I have it in the schedule. I don't remember when it's in the schedule. It is later in the year, but I do have it in the schedule to do a house tour. And I'm so excited. But I am a little stuck at the moment because I don't know where else to quite go next. Which is a bit of a problem. I might have to start resorting to Calexes and going more upwards. I'm not sure. Have I set notifications for all the behind series? I'm not that actively fussed. How many behind series? I'm behind on 580 series. That would be a lot of notifications. For the most part, I think I've been quite lucky in that I find a lot secondhand quite randomly, but it does take me years. I have series here. I think the one that always springs to mind is 7 Deadly Sins. I started collecting that series like 2018, 2019. I am one volume off completion, but I mean, it's taken me 6 years. But I've been buying them all secondhand, but I don't really mind that it's taken me this long because I buy enough that I've always got something to read, and I'm behind as is at the moment, to be fair. So I don't really mind it takes me a bit of time to get to them. It's like I'm going for that slow and steady collection mentality route at the moment, where that's fine if it takes me... I don't even think I mind too much if it takes me like 10 years to collect a series, as long as I found them cheap. Though if it's like some of my more favourite series, I'm happier to pick them up new or in store, but I still try to aim for 3 for 2 prices. But like a series that I'm a little less fussed about, I tend to be happy to just hang around and wait to see them cheaper. And actually for a good amount, I tend to do okay. As I said, it does take a little while, but yeah, slow, very slow and steady is mostly what I'm going for, because I'm mostly aiming on buying cheap or secondhand. So I peruse World of Books like every couple of days. I'm not at the moment because I'm tapped out for the month, which I don't know if people realize, but I do stop buying sometimes if I've spent enough for the month. I do stop, which is what's happened so far, because I did like Liverpool Comic Con and Sci-Fi buying stream and a World of Books haul, all of which will have videos, by the way. So I have like stopped, but for the most part I do check secondhand sites like every day, potentially every other day, and you'd be surprised how often they update things. Like it's especially World of Books, which will update their stock pretty much hourly. It's because it's all automated. None of it's done by hand or anything. They're too big, especially at the moment. So it'll just be as and when randomly stuff comes in. So checking frequently secondhand sites is probably one of my biggest how I end up with what I do. got one of these water bottles where I can put the thingy in the middle, like lemons or something, and then I keep forgetting to get lemons. So it's just a water bottle with a bit in the middle. 20 years to finish collecting Ranma. I heard it had a reprint recently. I think. Someone said it had a reprint. I'm hoping. I hear some of the later volumes are a bit tricky to find. Or out of print. But they might have had a reprint, which means they're no longer out of print. Which would be nice. You had a physical table for your spreadsheet for a while. Like way back, originally back in the day, I did used to write mine down, but I had post-it notes that I would just update. Like when I was at uni and I only had a couple hundred. Because all I was collecting then was like One Piece and Naruto, so you quite quickly ended up with a couple hundred. I did just have post-it notes, and I'd like write what I had on a post-it and then take it with me when I went shopping. Could you create aisles with shelves? I mean, that's what I've done in my bedroom. That's what I did in the bedroom. I have, like, one wall has Billy bookcases, and then there's a Kallax opposite it with, like, my clothes in it. And then on the other side is the bed. So I've made a corridor in there. I don't really want to make a corridor in here. So people have said that I could back, like, a Kallax onto the back of the sofa, which I just realised you can't see in the shot. Back it onto the sofa, but I move around the living room so often as for filming or like just doing different things, like at Christmas when we put the tree in and I have to move everything around, or when we just want a bigger open space and move the sofa around. So I think having an extra shelf in the middle of the room would just end up being a detriment to how I use the room. Basically, I did rearrange my study and put the Kallax in the middle of the room in there as well, so I could get 3 bookcases in. And I am trying to, if I move my desk a bit, can I fit another full-width bookcase? I think I might. But I haven't told Ben yet, so... Because Ben might have to move a little, and he's going to get mad at me. So no one tell Ben. And if Ben's here, you didn't hear that. Can't wait for my next haul. Which one? I think I filmed 3 in the last 2 days. And then I've got the Scifier one next week whenever UPS actually lets me have my parcels. There's a quota? There is a quota. There should be a quota, Ice. You terrify me. You make me feel so much better about myself. Am I spending? Don't get to the point where you have 300 volumes to unbox. Can you not see? Can you not see what's behind me? This is the accumulation of about 5 hauls that I haven't finished putting away because I need to rearrange my shelves, and I'm questioning I might actually need another shelf and I don't know quite where to put one just yet. So I haven't touched them for a while. It is many stacks deep. It is just every time my parents turn up and they look in that corner like, oh, you still not put it away? Are you admitting you're out of room now? And I'm like, no, I'm not admitting that. I'm not admitting that. It's not a problem. It's fine. Are you going to be walking around MCM Con? Can I come say hi? Yeah, sure. Come say hi. I will probably be in Rainbow. I will be walking around. I'm kind of excited and kind of nervous because I don't know how different it is to like Liverpool MCM. I think I'm not too fussed about like the guests or anything. I think I just feel horrendously awkward and shy. I'm way more shy and awkward in person than I am when I stream. Though I'm probably still horrendously awkward when I stream. Hello, cat. You're not coming to say hi? Oh, you just flopped on the floor. I can't see you on the floor though. I can't remember what I was saying. Come say hi, that's fine. I'll be probably in Rainbow, I think. When I start one series I really love, I find it hard not to purchase all the rest of them. That is true. I find if I really love it, but I'm still good enough, I think, that I can love it enough to wait till my next Scifier order, as opposed to just ordering, say, on Amazon, which I think there's only been twice that I did that. There was once I did it and the price for each volume was about 5 pence more than in a 3 for 2, and I was like, Okay, I'll allow that. At 5 pence more, I'm gonna order off Amazon. That'll be fine. I'll allow myself. You watch the big shonens because there's over 100. That is very fair. I know a lot of people who have said the same thing. One Piece is just too much, and instead they're gonna just watch it. Though even then, sometimes they're like, no, it's too long. I'm just gonna not partake in the series at all. And it's like, I do understand. A stack of shame. It is quite a stack of shame. If I cover it with a blanket, you might not know it's there, and therefore it's not shameful anymore. I put some money into savings. I beg of you. Oh dear. It gets busy and hot at the cons. Make sure you have water and a fan to cool down. A fan is actually very, very fair point. That is something that I was looking at. I do need to get a fan. I need to check the rules on bringing water in as well. I'm not going to be staying anywhere near the con, so I have to travel as well. So I'll be, and it's end of May. It's already so warm. I'm such a shit person. Any degree, any temperature outside of like 0 to 10 just knackers me. I'll be a terrible mess. I'm probably going to be there the Friday, Saturday, I think. I need to check. Right. Spreadsheet. Next sheet of the spreadsheet is the volumes sheet. Why are we right here? So what this is every volume I have in my collection. And so every volume, it has the title, it has the volume number, it has my rating if I've read it, it has its status being read, unread, blocked, or pre-ordered. Read, obviously, I've read it. Unread, I haven't read it. Blocked means that I can't read it yet. Do I have any blocked? Here. So I'm standing on 1,000,000 lives. I have volume 1, which is unread. But then I have volume 3, which is blocked because I don't have volume 2. And then the rest are blocked because of that as well. And then I also have cancelled, which for the most part was I did loads of pre-orders on Forbidden Planet. And then I cancelled a lot of them because a chunk of it ended up being cheaper on Scifier, and I've just not removed them. I'm trying to just buy them up so there's less cancelled. I am slowly working my way through. I did have about 90. I can't remember what it said now on the summary. I think it's down to like 40, 50. Slowly getting it down. And then I track the date that I bought it, the date that I read it. And then I do also have columns to track things like characters on the cover or colours, key colours on the cover, or spine colours or events, but I'm really, really bad at filling those in. For the most part, those columns were for like, I used to, and I really want to try and get back into it. I used to partake in like, Instagram challenges a lot, where it was like take a picture of all blue spines, or take a picture of a beach moment, or stuff like that, or rainbow spines or whatever. And I used to do those all the time, and I wanted to track things like color on spine and cover to be able to make it a lot easier for me to filter through my collection without having to go through my shelves, because I was lazy. But apparently I was lazy enough to not bother filling it in completely. Every now and again I go through and add a bunch of spines because they're the easiest to add, but the cover is a bit more of a pain and takes a bit longer. And then I also have days till read, which is how many days from purchase did I read it. That the number of days is just a difference between these two fields. And then if I haven't read it, it fails over and fills the field with the cell, with not read instead. And then finally there's a column for Ben, which is stuff that he's read because he started to forget what he'd read. But at the moment he's not really reading any manga. He's reading light novels. He's reading like 2 light novels a week or something crazy. So he's not really touching manga at the moment, he's just reading light novels. If you're interested in his thoughts on his light novels, he posts on his Instagram account, Manga Meister. I tell him he should also post in the Discord, but he's very shy. So what we need to do is we all need to harass him so he gets less shy. And he can post his light novel reviews in there. Because he likes reading and he likes writing his reviews. He's gonna get mad at me. Does Scifier ship to all Europe or just UK? They ship internationally, but for the most part I think I've gotten a bit confused with their shipping at the moment, I'll be honest. Is flat rate shipping in the UK? I'm not sure if it's flat rate shipping in Europe anymore. I think it's a bit more based on weight. I don't think it's horrendous. I have seen a few people say that even including shipping, Sci-Fi can often end up being cheaper than buying locally, but I would say look into it. Because I don't know your country and how much you're going to buy and all that. It's probably worth just having a look, having a gander, and see what you think. I do also separate series by colour, just so I know there's some that are miscoloured. As I said, I need to catch up on sorting out my spreadsheet. But for the most part, it just makes it a lot easier to see bollocks. It makes it a lot easier to see the different series where they start and end. Because, as you might have been able to tell by now, I find it a lot easier to understand and look at things if there's colour involved. I completely lose attention if there's no colour. Right, next sheet. But that is mostly it. This is just a big long list of all my individual volumes, when I bought them, my ratings and all sorts. There is I mean, how many volumes do I have? 8,000 odd? So there will be 8,000 rows. And then each of these rows has at least one formula, and it's one of the reasons that it can get a bit overwhelming, especially if you use it in a browser. He's hiding from Bacon. Honestly, I would understand if that was the issue. Bacon's not even, like, the one that harasses him the most about being his boyfriend. Bacon's not trying hard enough, basically. Make a thread that says Ben's reviews, and I should just copy and paste them in against his will. No, I think I just, like... what's the word? Pull on his ear until he posts them in the Discord. I forgot what the word is I was trying to think of. Ben body pillow merch, please. I'll have to ask Ben. Or I just wait till he's asleep and I take a picture of him when he's sleeping. And then, like, we can have it so it's like you're having a nap with Ben. Or sleep time with Ben. I can't wait for Ben to go to sleep tonight now. You've written a couple of manga reviews. You don't know how good the quality is, though. You lost your touch. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at writing manga reviews. I feel like... I'm a little numb bum. And there goes my water. I feel like I struggle when I write a review. I feel like I just get too basic. I don't use good wordage. I don't use my words good. Ish. I feel like I'm okay now with the amount I've read and my I'd say my general, what's the word? Personality is fairly, I don't really care that much. I'd like to hope that when I give a review, I can kind of tell at this point when I read a volume do I like this volume because it's good, or do I like this volume because it's appealed to me? I think, or did I read this volume, I didn't enjoy it, but I might still be able to acknowledge it's well written. It's just not my kind of thing, which I think can also be good when writing reviews, because there have been series where I've gone, no, I didn't like this at all. Actually, it was well written, and the pacing was good, and it portrayed its characters well, just I hated it. Which sometimes, yeah, can be its own thing. So sometimes it just maybe bring your own twist. It doesn't have to be the most eloquent, perfect, well-written review. I also think sometimes it's a bit boring if you think everything's amazing, or everything's shit, or everything's okay. It's nice to see reviews from someone who does have opinions across the board. Because I think it's weird if you only stay in one place. I don't know, that was another weird... Was that a rant? I'm not sure that was a rant. That was just a bit odd. Will this be available after the live stream? Yes, hopefully. I mostly just... as long as I don't show anything I shouldn't. Like addresses or personal information, I don't tend to leave the live streams up. But also for the most part, if I do that, I'll try and edit it out and then put it up. I don't really intend to never put live streams up. If I've made the content, I'm gonna leave it there for people to watch. Also, I find that, like, if I could leave these sort of things up, people might be more likely to go and look at that instead of shouting questions at me. I don't really mind too much people shouting questions at me, as long as they're not being a dick about it. It's like, how do I phrase this diplomatically? Don't be a douche. You ask me questions, just don't be a dick. Who is Bacon? Bacon is a interesting individual in the Dudette Discord server. Are you Bacon? Bacon harasses Ben frequently but doesn't approve of our gentle flirting. I know! I was that one time, I was like, I'll take you for dinner, and I swear Bacon was going to run down and break down my door. Like, oh, calm it. I'm fairly sure my cat could take you, though. He could be a VTuber. I did suggest that, and he gave me a look. I don't know if it was a look of maybe he's already a secret VTuber that I don't know about, or what? I felt like there was something I didn't know. He's no innocent being? Wait, who? Ben or Bacon? Or both? How's the spreadsheet going? I feel like I'm just rambling more than actually spreadsheeting. And then I go into a fixation, I rant for ages, and then I look back at chat, and then I lose focus, and I'm like, where am I? You're the lobster, you're the lobster! Oh no. Not that lobster. Okay. Next sheet. Light novels. Ah! It's so zoomed out. This one's a lot less interesting, and also a mega mess, because Ben doesn't keep it up to date, which is a pain. So yeah, this is just pretty much the same as the manga sheet, except it's light novels. And yeah, for the most part, the only things that get updated is which actual volumes we've got. There is really no other information about author or any artists or ratings or anything, because Ben doesn't track any of that. Ben barely tracks his own light novels if he's bought any. I mean, for the most part, I probably buy him his light novels, so it's not too bad. But I mostly just use this so I don't buy him duplicates of light novels, is the gist of this. He has a fair few. Because I mostly buy him secondhand, he has a lot of random gaps, but it is so satisfying when you can fill those gaps. What series was it recently? Oh, well, Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online, I bought him entirely secondhand, and now he has a clear run to 27, which is amazing. When I'm paying less than £6 a volume, a lot of them were £4 each, because no one seemed to want sort of line. She's hey ho, fine. All the more the merrier for Ben. And then he also decided to pick up Spice Wolf recently. Definitely not me. The quotes were non-stop last night. I struggled to keep up with the server the last couple of days as I'm trying to get a lot of things back under control. I think I looked away for like a couple hours and then just so many people chatting. I mean, it's wonderful. It makes me so unbelievably happy to see everyone having a nice time and being all chatty and engaging in the events. Like, I don't know if you can comprehend how wonderful it is to see people have found their happy place and all that. Just, oh. Especially like looking at the server statistics and seeing like how many messages get sent. Like in a day, quite easily over 3,000 messages can get sent in the server, which is insane when you think about it a little bit. When you're just like a piddly UK-based manga-ish themed server that you've all happened upon somehow, and there's like literally thousands of messages go through it a day. It's insane. Oh, okay, I'm calm now. You'll never guess who I am. I could probably guess. Maybe. What's your longest series? Oh, well, actually, momentarily. So what I can do, I'll do it by total volumes owned. I can sort. Please don't crash. Oh, it didn't crash at all. Largest to smallest by volumes owned. One Piece by Case Closed, Bleach, Naruto, Fairy Tail, Skip Beat, Haiku, Berserk. It's kind of crazy how quickly it gets down to like the 30s, considering you start out at like 100 and then it's a not that many series in English that go above like 50. What have you been reading for Magical May? I have not yet started my Magical May reading. No, actually, to be fair, some of the things I've read might have potentially qualified for Magical May, but I really, really do want to try and read for Magical May is Sailor Moon. Because it's 12 volumes, and I read volume 1 a few years ago. I think I'm a little worried, though, and I'm slightly putting it off because I'm worried that Sailor Moon is not a series I might enjoy. And I know there's a lot of fans of the series here, and I really don't want to upset anyone. But my worry is that I engaged in no Sailor Moon content of any variety, manga, anime, anything as a child. I knew of it, and I know that they're like sailors, and they're themed to like planets and stuff. And that is the extent of my knowledge. I'm worried that coming in and reading it as a 28-year-old, I'm not going to have the nostalgia or anything. And I know Liddy read some of it and she was posting some parts of it and I was like, oh good, that's very concerning. But it might be just a 90s series thing. I don't know. So I'm scared to read it in case I don't like it. So if I don't read it, that means I don't know that I don't like it. And I might like it all at the same time. Schrodinger's Sailor Moon. That's what I'm hoping to try and read. Ish. I think what else have I read? I think I've read more Slice of Life recently. I read Kingdom of Quartz, Past the Monster Meet Milady, Tendo Family, Smoking Behind the Supermarket. I'm not sure they quite count as magic. But I'm really glad to see people are really getting into it, and it's nice seeing people, it's not just people in the Magical Keep getting into Magical May. There are people across all the houses coming along and reading magical themed reads, and that is so wonderful. It's like all the houses are playing nice and getting on together and reading a theme, and it's so nice, and I really can't wait to do more themed months coming up, like We're doing Pride Month next month. We've got Isekai Month the month after. We've got Seinen September. We've got Degenerate December? Maybe? And then there's another couple of themed months potentially in the works. It'll be kind of neat having a different kind of themed month, and it doesn't have to be like, I don't think necessarily if you're like in the server and joining in on these kind of things that you have to necessarily be hardcore joining in every month. There's no expectation. If you want to read a bit, I mean, you don't even have to go for bingo if you don't want. It's just sort of having a bit of fun, and this is the theme of the month, and everyone else is reading a bit of the theme of the month. I also remember it is only the 8th of May. Don't judge your reads by how many Liddy has read, because Liddy is just insane, okay? Liddy is just insane. We love Liddy so much. We all aggressively send smoochies and cuddles to Liddy, but she is insane. She's on like 60 reads so far this month, or 80. She'll be on 300. She'll have got through all her unread by the end of the month, and then we'll all just be sat here crying. Anyway, but yeah, my hope is to have like mini bingo boards for like every month, and we'll come up with other themes. So yeah, we've only got like 4-5 themes so far at the moment. Oh, Witchtober! Forgot Witchtober. And I know that people probably want to read some more spooky horror reads as well, instead of just witchy reads, which is cool as well. Incorporate those. I'm just a big scaredy baby who has vivid nightmares, so has to stay away from the scary stuff. Magical May has smashed Liddy's TBR. We need to see what else has she got in her TBR, and that can just be the themes of the rest of the themes for the months. What's Magical May? So in the Discord server, the Do That Discord server, we are doing a themed month, which is encouraging everyone to read manga to a particular theme, and there's a little bingo board and to try and find particular tropes in your read and stuff, and you can get house points for joining in and all that jazz. You don't have anything magical and degenerate? Do you have anything in your collection that isn't degenerate? I'll be so proud if you have an entirely degenerate collection. Seinen September? Yes, I think what I'm most looking forward to about Seinen September is the sharing the discovery of what counts as a seinen. Like, I think because there's a whole I feel like I could do a whole live stream just ranting about demographics, about how there is a perception on what a demographic is, and I feel it's going to be quite fun, the sort of realization of, oh my gosh, this series is a seinen? Yeah, a whole bunch of that kind of thing, because the series like My Dress Up Darling is a seinen series. I believe Oshinoko is a seinen series. One Punch Man, I believe that is a seinen. And I'm looking forward to people sort of going through and learning a bit more about their collection because of that, which is just so much fun. What's for November? Well, I saw some people above say Nakama or Knights November, which I assume the Knights want that month. I'm trying to think what months won't have a theme. I'll have to go through. I might lay claim to January, so that's my birthday month, so it can be a Kate Tins themed Kate Tins themed board, and it's just beans. Maybe a cat themed one. beans. You're reading that Magical Boy BL for research purposes. I saw like 2 pictures of it in Not Safe for Work channel, and I was like, ooh, will it get a physical? I like it physical. When you made your spreadsheet, you were surprised to see a lot of books you thought were shoujo were not actually totally seinen. I like learning like demographics is crazy. Some of the series just is really surprising, and I think it's really interesting to see, and I think it leads a bit more into that whole demographics don't mean as much as most people often think they do. Like a lot of people be like shoujo, high school romance, shonen, battle, action, but that's not necessarily true. Or that if it's romance and mature, it's going to be a josei, but that's also not true. Quite a few of the steamship line from Seven Seas are actually shoujo series, which is a smidge concerning, but hey ho, it's demographic, and it's just kind of interesting. I find it also just interesting that people do still care about demographics when it very much doesn't feel like they mean too much often, because there's always quite a few exemptions, and it's like, if there's quite a few exemptions, then try some. It's not that deep. Just if the series good, it doesn't matter if it's a shoujo, seinen, josei, whatever. If it's good, it's good. Which Atelier is a seinen? Yeah. Sweat and Soap? Yep. Also seinen. There's lots of seinen. Cat Gamer? A lot of the cat ones end up being seinen, where a lot of people assume they'll be josei. If it comes from Shoujo Beat or Shonen Jump, it should match that category. It should. I feel it should match that category. But I do think One Punch Man has the Shonen Jump stamp on it, but I think that might still be a seinen. You got all the demographic questions wrong in the quiz. If it helps, I don't think anyone got it right. I didn't think it would throw people quite that much. I also thought it was just kind of neat, because you see these series and it's just, yeah, none of them are the demographics that you think they are. What about them almost H mangas? Do you mean the Faku? I don't think technically I don't think Faku tends to have a demographic, because they're just posted online. I don't know. Someone do correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've put them in as seinen. They tend to be seinen. But I don't think necessarily all of them have a demographic. It relates to the magazines that publish when it goes well, we can get more. That is fair. I mean, that's I think this is don't lead me down a rant. We still got sheets to go through. Don't lead me down a rant. I don't care what the demographic is when I read a series, and I don't think it should matter to others. However, shoujo and josei definitely are treated subpar compared to other demographics, which is a problem. So I do agree on that. That is fair. Which is what I mean. I feel like it's almost the same point-ish. I hope that people would just read things because they're good, not necessarily because of its demographic. It shouldn't matter. I mean, I understand that it's targeted towards a particular audience, but it just feels quite narrow to go, I'm only going to read this, or I'm going to avoid this particular one, when there's just such a variety. It's like when people say I'm not going to read isekai because they're all the same, and it's like, well, they're not. They're very much not. I've read a lot, I can tell you, they are not. And I find it quite funny seeing both sides of the demographic fandom, especially on Twitter. Twitter's the worst for it, where you see the shoujo crowd being like, I will never touch a shonen because it's all boring, and then you see the shonen crowd being like, I'll never touch a shoujo because it's all boring, and it's like, you're literally saying the exact same thing. It's so funny watching discourse on Twitter. They all sound like little children. It's crazy. It's not just read everything. That's how you just read everything. It's fine. Degenerate is a demographic. That is true. No one got GTO on the Cursed AI round. I think, did one person get it? One person might have gotten it. I can't remember now. Kix is a demographic. Kix is my demographic. I send her simp material. I send her TikTok so she can simp. I don't know if she realizes, but I get a notification every time she views one, and I think one of the ones I sent her, I could see her frequently opening to watch it. So sometimes I would then also watch it, because I'm like, we're watching it together now. Tiffany! Tiffany, how are you? I'm all blushy now. Twitter is a dumpster fire. It is the worst of the social medias. Read a lot of genres in manga. It wouldn't in novels. That is true. There is a lot of things I would try reading. I mean, I would read anything apart from horror or pun in manga, but I mean, novels, I'd be a lot more picky. I mostly like to read fantasy trash if I'm gonna read a novel, to be honest. Those sort of ones where the author is always the same looking woman and it's always a retelling of Beauty and the Beast for some reason. Those are my kind of trash novels. If I had more time, I would read more novels. I don't have enough time to read the manga. And if I had more time, I'd read the light novels, and then after that, I'd move on to real books. You'll see when I do the house tour, you'll see all the other books I have. You do? Only I think on the ones I've sent you, for some reason. Just I occasionally randomly have gotten like a pop-up saying you viewed the one I sent you. Not like everyone you look at or whatever. I don't know why. But it has tickled me to see how often you just occasionally go back, apparently. Unless it's glitching and just randomly says it. But I know you're a filthy simp. Your license expired for Excel, so you need to update your track on Google Sheets. The Excel in the browser is free. Excel online is free. Excel in the client you need an account for. But online you can have a free account to access that. All of the Office suite you can access online for free. I think. I mean, I used to. Unless it's changed. It used to be free. There's a lot less you can do online. So things where I've done like my conditional formatting, you can't do that online. You can only do that in the client. But like having a spreadsheet, I think you can. You can. I think. But for the most part, I think a lot of people, if you find Google Sheets easy, absolutely use Google Sheets. I mean, there's, apart from maybe having to rejig a formula or two, for the most part, all of this you'd be able to do the exact same way in Google Sheets. I know you absolutely do go back. I knew it. Sometimes I go and show Ben, just like, can we just sit and watch through Jonathan Bailey TikToks? I feel like a converted woman. After seeing him with Matt Boomer, I'm like... I just need him to look at me. Right. Next tab. So we did move back a bit. Right, next tab is not quite to do with manga, it's my videos tab, and this is how I track my videos. Which looks a little bit messy at the moment. It's not too bad. So, like, since I actually went and checked earlier, since July 1st, 2022, I have posted at least one video a week on a Friday. Which is... I can't believe I managed to do that. And I 100% put it all down to my spreadsheet. Now, if you are a Caitons member, 99p a month, early access to videos, emotes in live chats, and channel member channel in the Dudette Discord, I do post quite frequently about my video schedule and stuff like that. If you have gotten a membership, be sure to link it to your YouTube to your Discord account, your YouTube to your Discord account, and then you'll be able to see the channel. It automatically gives you the role to be able to access it. But this is how I track my videos and what's coming up and stuff, and I decided to just keep it in this spreadsheet so it's all together, and I'm more likely to look at it if it's all just open in one place. And yeah, I think it started, I said I've been posting consistently since July 1st, but I started tracking posting videos mid-November, and it was with the Dudette vlogs from when they came up to stay with me. Mostly because I had my collection tour coming up and I needed to figure out how I wanted to pace them out. I had no idea how I was going to do it, and it ended up turning into a 10-part special of some variety, so that was just to help me figure out how I was gonna do it, basically. But yeah, this is like this is the core behind Cake Tins. What I really need to do is replicate it to help me on other social medias, because I've kind of just left them to die a little. I'm trying. Just not very well. But yeah, this is like my plan, and also I have it planned out until October. Plus I have all these videos, so I have two tables. I have the schedule, which is the table on the left with the dates that I will be posting things, and then I have the table on the right, which is all the other videos that I want to film that I don't have filmed in the schedule yet. Which is slightly crazy seeing how many are on there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 more videos in my I want to film, but I haven't got somewhere to put it in the schedule yet. Which, yeah. So sometimes what ends up happening, there is actually a video that just has never gone public and is still members only, which is I read a bunch of only ones in a day. At this point it probably won't go public, just because, I mean, it's been so long. So what usually happens is when I come up with like ideas I want to do for videos, I throw them into this table on the right, and I just will try and get to these ones, and then usually what happens is I get sick or I get busy, because I get sick a lot, you've probably noticed. Because I've usually built up a backlog of videos, I end up just bringing these over to replace ones and push other ones out. So you just, if you don't engage and see me anywhere else, you'll never know I was ill because I'm still posting the videos consistently. I mean, last year I got COVID. I was sick for a month. I could not talk. I was so unwell. I still posted videos consistently because I had a backlog, which I was just so happy with. So, Worst Reads 23, I know that one I might bin, and I've got a replacement video further up, which is going to be October time, but I did mean to do a live stream where I tier listed everything I read, and I did do one part, and then I ended a bit early, but also it was taking ages because I was just chatting a bunch, and then I thought that I could just do a video of it and go through it a bit quicker, and that would be quite a neat video. So that's probably going to replace the Worst Reads of 23. I did a Best Reads. I even have the Worst Reads stacked up, but do I have them still stacked up? I do. I still have my Worst Reads stacked on a shelf ready for me to film, and I've just not gotten around to it. I might bail on it at this point. But yeah, like at this. And then each of these columns represent a different thing. So the first column is, have I filmed the video? Which is crazy that that's just step 1. Step 2 and 3 might be a bit weird, because, well, there is going to be another video at some point later in the year where I just talk about how I make videos. But when I edit a video, I do like 2 parts to it. The first part I do is I go through and I cut out a lot of the gaps because I cough a lot, I sneeze a lot, I swear a lot, and sometimes I just forget what I'm saying. So I try and just cut out all of those parts, and that is this column, Have I Done This? Which is actually, I filmed my Traveling Man Warehouse haul, and I have done that on that video. And then the next step is I go through and listen to it, just to make, like, have I said something twice? Maybe I said something but I didn't say it right, so I say it again. And I do that on ×2 speed as well. And then that's that step. This step is just uploading it to YouTube. This step is the thumbnail. And then this step is it's available for members. And then the final step is it is published publicly. So what was I going to say? Different colours. N means I can't do it yet. For whatever reason, I haven't started or I can't do it yet. Yellow means I've started it. So usually for the thumbnail, it means that I've like taken the picture. I've taken the picture for the thumbnail, but I've not like edited it to make it a thumbnail. Green Y means yes, I've done it. And then there's also blue R, which means I am ready to do this. I can do this now. I've just not yet done it. And I'm so annoyed because if that Scifier haul had arrived today, I was going to unbox it tomorrow evening, and then I'll have had all of my videos filmed up to like almost to the start of July. And I was so mad about it. Manga Shrines, I need to ship 1 more box over from Neokyo, and then I can film that one. I actually had an Ami Ami box arrive earlier today, and I've decided to merge it into a Neokyo video. And then there's also, if you've been in the Discord server, you know I've been running a manga quiz in the server, and quite a few people asked me to make videos of the questions if, say, they couldn't make the whole thing, if they had to leave early, or they just couldn't make it because of time zones or work or whatever. But I wrote quite a lot of questions because I have a problem when I write quizzes, so I'm going to split that into multiple videos as well, and there'll be a bunch of those coming up too. Also, I'm going to attempt my first storytime video at some point, which was I was scammed out of manga, which I think will be quite fun. I need to be a bit careful about how I phrase things though, because I don't want to accidentally get myself into trouble. I didn't do anything wrong. I think I just have to be quite careful about how I phrase things. What would put you off video creation is the editing segment. Honestly, I think the bit that I'm worst at is the filming. Which is atrocious. I'm so like awkward, and like when I film the closing, when I'm like, hi, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed yourself, I hope you're having a great day, and oh shit, I have to do that like 5-6 times because I just forget everything I need to say in quick succession as well. What am I doing? I don't know. Cutting out Yuna's farts. Thankfully, Yuna's farts don't sound too bad. Yuna just likes to scream. Actually, Mika likes to scream. They both like to scream. Oh, the worst one is when Yuna comes along and her tail's hitting the microphone and I haven't realised. And that means that there's a lot of buffeting, so I have to cut random bits out. So you don't just hear her tail and from. You'd spend less time on Ami Ami and Discord and hit the books. Well, you can then share what you've been reading. Avoid Neokyo. I will do a Neokyo stream. I need to check when I want to next stream. It'll probably be in June now. I think I've got a stream next week where I do the book nook, now that I'm not sick. Again, maybe. And then I'll probably have a bit of a break, and then I'll do a Neokyo stream in June sometime. FanFest vlog. I swear to God, Kigs. My hope, maybe, is in the next couple of months I can start tackling it. Because I'm now almost so far ahead with my videos. Isekai month might be a little interesting. I don't think I've announced quite yet what I'm going to do with Isekai month. I have planned what I'm going to do. I just have to actually do it, which is the biggest pain. And then I really want to do the FanFest vlog, but I have like 6 hours of footage from that trip. But I will do it. I've had multiple people ask me to edit it now. What I need to do is blackmail Ben into doing some of my video editing. More Miku. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at more Miku, and I did nearly buy more Miku because something came back into stock that I missed the restock of, and I got really upset about, but it actually came back into stock on AmiAmi. But I found it for a similar price on Neokyo, so I think I'm gonna go for it on Neokyo, and then that gives some buffer as well with like shipping, and I don't have to try and think about other things to make up 135. You don't have to make up 135. Yes, I know. But I would, okay? And also a lot of the bigger Miku figures that I'm interested in would take me over 135 paired up with this other thing that I wanted, that I was trying to pick up. So I think I'm just going to find it on Neokyo, because I found a few listings and it wasn't that much more, thankfully. You should do a cat blooper reel. There is currently a cat video up for members. It's not that long, it's like 12 minutes long. I'm fairly sure 90% of the views are just egg. But there is a cat video up. I might post it during Isekai month. I also have a video about how I do my nails. I realised that's not listed anywhere on here. All that needs is a thumbnail. I filmed it, I've edited it, it's uploaded. I just need to make a thumbnail, and that'll be available for members as well. I can't believe how long it ended up being. I thought it was me putting these, that's too bright, they're not showing. It's me taking off my last nails and then how I got to the new set on. I just can't believe how long of a video it took me to. I'm quite slow, and I was talking a lot about like, this is what I do next, and I do this, and I do this. Also, by the way, I'm not professional. I'm not professional. But then I do this, I do this. So I have other types of videos. I think my intention, and I did the same thing last year, when I tried doing some different types of videos. I'm really nervous with Isekai month because I'm not very good with my reviews, basically. I talk about things I really like, but I don't think I'm exactly amazing at getting across good words. Shit, it happened again. I'm not the best at getting across my words, so my reviews can always be a bit hit and miss depending. And for Isekai month, doing a whole month of reviews is rather daunting, I feel, when you're not very good at it. But you're trying your best, and that's all that matters, right? So generally, I've run Isekai month once. Last year when I did Isekai month, I also posted other videos alongside of different types of things. And I think I'm going to do the same thing this year with Isekai month, where I have different types of videos that are like completely different. It's not necessarily manga, like my cat video, like my nail video, potentially the FanFest vlog. Ah! And I think I'll try and post those alongside. Just I'll post a whole bunch of random shit. June's gonna be weird. There'll be manga in it, just it's gonna be weird. But hopefully you all still like it. And when I finalized a bit more about Isekai month, I'll post about it in both the Discord and my YouTube community. I am very forgetful on my YouTube community. If you are a member and you're not in the Dudette Discord, please join the Dudette Discord. I'm way more chatty than a member in there. I do like very frequent announcements in the announcement channel about things that have been added to the server, new channels or events that are coming up. So it also make sure that you are looking at the announcements channel. Do it. Please. Do you use a 1 to 5 star rating for manga? I do want a 10. I ummed about doing 0.5s in the middle, but then I was like, no, I want some clean math, so I just do 1 to 10. But I think, next, actually, I need to check one thing. So we'll just go back to me for one moment while I check one thing quickly. Are you finding this interesting so far? I will do the blank template. It probably at this point won't be this evening. But I will do it. It is on my to-do list. My very, very long, never-ending to-do list. Okay. I think I'm good. Oh. Discord also has lovely people and bacon. It does have a lot of lovely people and bacon. It is a great, wonderful place. Everyone should be in it. I think my favorite comments are from the people who are like, I joined to ask a question and then you were all alright, so I hung around. And it's like, that is such a high form of praise. Like, I came in, asked a question, got my answer, but yeah, actually not too bad. I think I'll hang around. Like, oh, my child. What? Bacon is our pet dog. No, because then he'll start talking about leashes. Bacon comes from a pig. Kiggums, do you know what my last name is? I think I understand why we were meant for each other. Do you know what my last name is, Kiggums? Bacon is a server celeb. I'd say he's more infamous than a celeb. You joined Discord after months of fighting your own demons. Are you having fun though? Are you happy? Are you enjoying it? Possibly. Do you know what it's themed to? It's your favorite thing, which means I'm your favorite thing. Bacon is the dictator we need. I'm not sure that's true. I'm concerned. Oh wait, you said you were a lobster, didn't you? That'll be why. But it's, I do see comments where like people's like, I joined and you're actually nice, and it's like, why are you surprised that we're nice? Like, what servers have you been in? What has happened? Maybe I am quite Discord naive, to be fair. When I first set up the server, I had a test one that my sister was helping me set up and stuff like that. I think I've gotten a bit better over the few years now, but I was such a noob at the beginning. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how anything worked. Me and the dudettes had a private channel where we just put in tips of how to use Discord. We all just share tips on things to use with Discord, like how to bold something or how to spoiler something, things like that. Because we were all just like, what are we doing? Like, learning bots, I'm slightly concerned still at how long I spend doing admin on the server. I probably spend a few hours a day doing just admin. And there's like so many, like, just setting up like bots or setting up events or changing permissions around or replying to questions. Like, I'm slightly surprised sometimes. Just, I'm glad. Don't get me wrong, I'm so happy everyone is wonderful, and I will not change it for the world, because you're all my little cupcakes, muffins, snickerdoodles, whatever. What did I call you today? What did I call you today? My digestives. I called you my digestives today. I'm trying to, I have a Wikipedia page with like baked goods, and I just pick a random one every single time I post. Piggies? Yes, my surname is to do with piggies. I assume that's why you like me. No other reason. Posting the selfie thread and you sent a Markiplier gif. I'm not gonna lie, that did make me giggle. But that's when you turn around and you bring out one of the key emotes with like a hammer or the guns. But you might enjoy that. Real people are mean. Everyone's so nice. We're gonna keep the server is going to remain a nice, wholesome place. Everyone will be happy. And blissfully happy. Unibot doing the hard work. I'm so pleased with that. I'm kind of bummed that I need to figure out another bot I can make the Mika bot. I don't know which bot I can make the Mika bot. I've no idea. I have to figure that out. Because it'd be neat if they can both have a bot. It was really... I loved when I figured out you could, like, talk to the bot, but we can't talk too much to it because you have to pay after so much. It is satisfying when the bots work. I wish they worked more often. Though the house point bot was handwritten by Ben. So we all thank Ben for that. Ben wrote that one. I need to figure out, I need to decide if I like do a competition or something for someone to draw the icon for that bot, because at the moment it's still just the default one. But having an actual logo, but then at that point it's probably going to be like a house logo. Not a house logo, a school logo. Emblem of some sort. That would be really cute and cool. I have so much to do. I have like to figure out how we can showcase and share the art that all the different houses have done. I can't believe some of the artwork some of the houses have come out with. I was like, what the fuck's happening here? Ben, get over here. Look at this person. Look what they've drawn. What happened? And it's like, oh, there's beautiful, gorgeous, cute things, and then there's Kiggs who draws a slime with a tramp stamp. We're meant to be. We are meant to be. You enjoy the houses. It was a good idea. I was like, I had no idea if it was going to go down really well or really badly. I think for the most part, it's gone down quite well. I knew at the start it was probably going to be like a really big thing to start with, and then as we progressed it would die down a little, but I think it's actually died down less than I thought it would. Everyone seems to love it. Everyone seems to love it, and everyone loves their houses, and it's just wonderful. There's me and my sister in the elusive 5th house. We don't have very many points. Our little house. Just the two of us. Ben is a smart bean. Don't say that. It'll go to his head. And I'll never hear the end of it. I'm trying to convince him to do a session at work talking about how he makes a Discord bot, because he uses like it's Azure and all sorts. Logic apps, I think. I can't remember. To have it all work. Cosmos DB to track everything. I think that would be a really neat training session, but then I think he'd have to explain the housing system to our colleagues, which might be the reason he's put off. Saying that, a number of the people I work with are in the Discord and have been sorted into various houses, and some of them join in some of the events as well. But I think the first time I went into the office after I set up the housing system, one of them who's in it, he was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "What are you chatting about?" And he said, "Well, what did you think would happen when you set up a house called Degen Dungeon? Of course, everyone's going to be filthy in it. Why would you give them permission to be absolute degenerates in a channel? What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, you mean how I had to turn it into 18 plus? Yes!" Because he's in that house. But he's only in that house because I moved him because he is a Degen. He got me mad about it. Hey ho. It's nice to have the smaller channels for little conversations. Yes, I mean, that's something I wasn't expecting to happen from the whole house thing, that people treat them like actually like common rooms where they just use it as like a mini chat and chill, which I mean is lovely. I also understand potentially there's a lot of people nowadays in the whole server, having like a smaller area can make it a little bit more fun and open, but I wasn't expecting that. It was quite nice seeing people just, they use it just as a small little common room. This is something on my eventual to-do list, but we're probably going to hold off a little bit, is I would love to set up a Dudette Minecraft server where we build the Dudette Manga Academy, and we have the houses, and we have the magical keep, we have the dungeons, we have the Nakamanite Hall, or whatever, the Royal Court of Villainy. That would be so much. That'd be really, really neat. And then there's me in the tower, the headmaster's office, looking down on you all, going, oh dear, what are they doing today? What are they doing today? Ben is your customer of the month at the Lobster Club. Who did you have on that drew him in? And don't say Bacon, because I know it wasn't Bacon. Because he is loyal to his other boyfriend. You use about 9 different channels. And they're all the ones where you spend money in, aren't they? Check your walls. Well, I think that would be part of the fun, because I'm fairly sure there's like 3 or 4 different people who all talk about being able to travel through the walls. So I just kind of like the thought of either multiple people crossing paths and they like use different colours for their walls or something, and they're just like, just imagine Bacon and Kitsune meeting partway through one of the walls and be like, evening, and then just continuing on. Or like they all share walls and it's like a whole hidden collected network or something. I think that would be fun. No idea how to make Minecraft things, but you could give many descriptions of the keep. I think it would be so pretty, especially since they've got like they've been adding more and more blocks. I haven't played in a few years. I think we could make it really aesthetic, especially since I think you've got like cherry blossom, like light pink blocks and stuff in Minecraft. Trying to work out how to hide your DJ Manga when you live with other people. Some people I know hide it behind other series, or have. I don't know if you did it, but when I was at school, when we got like a textbook, we had to wrap the cover of the textbook in like paper or wrapping paper or some form of something to help keep the book keep its integrity. I know some people who have done that, and of their naughty stuff if they don't have too many, and then you can't really tell when it's on the shelves. On top of the tower petting a cat. Yes, I would have to have cats. 2 ginger cats. And they can't despawn, that would make me cry. I feel like we need to chip in and get Ice a financial advisor. I think that's something we need to do. Intervention. Ben went to the tentacle room at the club. Ben, again? Seriously? Bacon has a tunnel to me in the keep. Connie, are you okay? I feel like you're in too deep. Do you need help? Do you need saving? Are you okay? Can you explain the houses again and their qualities? So, Nakamanites are like kindness, friendship, niceness. The Royal Court of Villainy are villains with a penchant for seinen, I believe. There's the Magical Keep, who are whimsical, magical, sweet peaceful, also kind. And then DGen Dungeon, where make sure you take them up if you go visit. I think it took like 10 minutes for me to turn that channel into an 18+ after what happened. You're all filthy. You're blinking twice. I'm sending help. It's on the way. Pre-orders don't count as spending money. That's what I keep telling myself. Where was I? Spreadsheet! This is mostly the last tape. Like, I have random other sheets, but this is the last sheet I really have to show you. I got very distracted chatting randomly about the server. Any other questions about the server? Channels, houses, events, anything? I'm trying to put more events in. They will definitely slow down post-April. I definitely 100% have to put up another giveaway. I'm not putting it off, I'm just forgetting. Which is almost like putting it off, it's just not purposeful. I still have a list. I had a list of things to do for giveaways in April, and then when I fell sick and I fell behind, I just fell behind. I still want to work through them. Just I need to remember. Right. Stats sheet. Let me go through this. This is my favorite sheet, I think, and this is just a whole random selection of statistics from my manga and volumes sheets. So this first block here with the manga header is predominantly stats from my manga sheet, and then this one here is predominantly from my volumes sheet. I actually think the stats from the volume sheet are a little less interesting in comparison. So these numbers are not going to be completely correct, because as I showed you earlier, I've still got loads of gaps on some series I need to go through and add. So like these publisher counts are not going to be quite correct. You reincarnated as a potato isekai? Yes. Yes. Do you get a new bean with my stationery prize? Cakes, why did you ruin it? I've already put one in the box. I haven't forgotten I need to post it. I realised after I like drew you and remembered I needed to post it, there was only a few days left till I announced the giveaway winners for the other ones. And then I'm just really, really slow. It's all in a box. I just need to package it. Like, seal it, basically. And I need to package the other things and also post Daddy's parcel. I tend to be really good at going to the post office like once every other month. Basically, I'm so shit. I'm so shit at everything. I have amazing intentions. And then we just end it there. I would do the whole order pickup from my door, but one of the things I need to send goes internationally. And I'm just not brave enough to figure out the postage for that myself. Oh shit, I also need to figure out the letter exchange. I had started. There is a channel on the server, it's private at the moment, and I had some ideas on how to run it. I'd show you my to-do list, but it has some personal things on it, but it is like 100 different items, and all of these things are on it. And I just, every day, I'm trying to just clear it down. And it's not going down, okay? But I am trying. So, if you're like, you've not done this still, I know. I am so aware. I'm so aware. I'm currently trying to renovate like 2 houses at the same time. And then work. And then do stuff with the house. This house. And then do my videos and all my content. And these sort of things. And the events on the server. And then server admin. Whew. I'm having a great time, for the most part. As long as I get enough sleep. Which I am now doing. Which is definitely helping. Right. Statistics. So yes, as we've got this first tranche here, this is my statistics to do with manga. So this first, let's zoom in. Let's check what you can see. There we go. So this first table here, for the most part, I already had it on the first tab on my summary. The other set here is I can't start. So these are series where I don't have volume 1, basically. If I've bought out of order and I don't have volume 1, that's how many series I have, which is like, yeah. And then we have volume count versus potential volume count. So I showed that column on the manga spreadsheet, on the manga sheet, where I track how many volumes there currently are in the series, even out in Japan, or just how many there are in total. If I was up to date on every single series I collect, including up to date with Japan releases, which obviously I can't be because it might not have had an English print, that is how many volumes I would have in my collection. Give or take, some of the numbers are probably going to be wrong. It's probably going to be a few hundred out at this point, to be fair. But for the most part, if I was up to date with everything, it would probably take me over 10,000 volumes, which is slightly insane, crazy. I do get people asking, when do I think I'll hit 10,000 volumes? I don't think it's going to be this year. Probably next year. Then we have ongoing versus complete. Is that? There's just not an O in that. Oh, there is an O. Where are you? Okay. Why? I don't understand. Ongoing versus complete. So this is just of the series in my collection, how many of them are complete, how many of them are ongoing. That's literally all it means. It's interesting to see quite a lot more of them are complete by like, it's like 60% to 30%-ish, I think. Kind of neat. And then we have series ratings split up. Because when I average the rating for a series, I've got a whole bunch of like 0.7s, 0.5s, decimal numbers basically for my ratings. So just in this range, how many series have I placed in this range? Zoom out a little. For the most part, I do tend to rank series around a 6 or a 7. I find that that's almost my middle ground. And then I don't have too many that are perfect. There's only 6 series that I've ranked as perfect, and none that I've ranked between 0 and 0.9. I feel like the more recently, when I rank series, I feel like I'm ranking more pessimistically than I used to, which is starting to drag things down more. But definitely, like, within the last few years, my average would tend to be like the 6-7, because I'm quite easily pleased. So if I said that I quite liked this, it was okay, I tend to put that like 6, 7 over any lower. Then I've got a whole bunch of like series and volume count. So how many series do I have with this category? I don't have any psychological, I need to remove that. That's not necessarily I don't have any series that are considered psychological. It's just not a category that I've really used, so I'm going to remove it. If a series is psychological, I've mostly just given it another category because I don't think any series that potentially has a psychological theme has ended up being like the #1 category, the biggest category from that series for me to jump out, if that makes sense. So it isn't that I don't necessarily have psychological, it's just not really been, it's just not really been a category that I've used. And the same with food, actually. I might remove that one too. Come here. Come and say hello. You're such a shit cat. Ugh. Say hello to everyone. Only one food, crazy food truck. I do have crazy food truck, but I don't think I put it under food. I have Beauty and the Feast as well, but I just don't think I've put it under food. That's what I mean. It's not necessary. I think I used it. I think I might have only put like Food Wars under it. But I think for the most part, it's ended up not really being a category I've used. So I'll probably just fade out the category and maybe make it a subcategory or a secondary category. As opposed to a primary. And then this statistic I find quite interesting, which is series count versus volume count, which is... So the left-hand table is just how many series do I have by this publisher, whereas the table on the right is how many volumes do I have by this publisher. So for example, on the table on the left, One Piece would count as 1, whereas the table on the right, One Piece would count as 105. And I think it makes it interesting to see that even though Viz as a publisher by series count is only my third most common publisher, when it comes to volume count, it is my most common publisher by like double the next one down, which just shows that so many series that I have from Seven Seas jumps from number 1 to number 4. It shows how many series I probably have from Seven Seas are quite short, or there isn't really much to it. And the same with Faku. Faku by series is number 5, mostly because it has a lot of one-shots, as I showed you earlier, whereas if you do it by volume count, it jumps a whole bunch down to like, I think 11th, maybe? Yakutake Japan. I also have Yakutake Japan. I don't know what category I put that under. I can't remember. Sometimes I don't give them a category until I've read them, or they get a random one until I've read them, and then I go back and update my spreadsheet with what I think is more appropriate. Someone walked past my door. I've been really enjoying trying to collect some more of the odder publishers recently. More odder? Odder's not the correct word. Less common publishers, I would say. I would like to try and collect some more. I need to add oh, what are they called? The one that did those hardcover BL series as a Kickstarter. Aloha? I kickstarted the whole lot of them. I'm a little peeved that the link click has hit stores and I've still not gotten my Kickstarter bundle, but maybe it's the other volumes that have been slower. But it's like seeing them in store and I'm like, I've not got mine yet. Especially with everyone in the Discord going on about how great link click is, and I'm like, not got mine yet. Feeling a little stroppy. She's a fluffy furball. She is a fluffy furball. She woke me up at 6 AM this morning because she had shoved herself under my head and was making me use her as a pillow and was purring so loud it woke me up. I feel like I should be annoyed, but it was quite cute. But I was very sleepy. and then, because how she was laying, and she was like, when she's happy, she's like a dog. She is more like a dog than a cat. When she's happy, she wags her tail. And she was lying down and she was evidently happy, me using her as a pillow. And then she was wagging her tail and she was just slapping Ben in the face. And it woke him up. And he got a bit annoyed. What One Piece book titles would you recommend? They've got I Hear the Sunspot, I can't remember what much else. I Hear the Sunspot, Rising of Shield Hero. It's like deviation for one moment. This is the joy of the spreadsheet. We go in and we filter by One Piece books. What have we got? Rising of Shield Hero. Oh yeah, this is sorted alphabetically. We have Captain Corinth, Death Mage, Farm Life Another World, Hinam Matsuri, I Hear the Sunspot, Misk, It Takes Two, Multi-Mind Mayhem, New Gate, Parallel World Pharmacy, Reprise of Spear Hero, which is a spin-off of Rising of Shield Hero, Usotoki Rhetoric, Villainess Level 99, and Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. I think of all of that, the one I would recommend is Usotoki Rhetoric. And I think at the moment that might be like the key one I would recommend of the lot. You only ordered link click and you've not got it? You're very salty? Okay, I feel a lot less bad about being salty now. Because I feel like you have more reason to feel salty than me as well. Yeah, I can't believe it's hit stores and they've not paid out they've not given out Kickstarters yet. I need more Faku. I have 72 volumes of Faku. How many more? I would love to be able to do an A to Z of Faku, but the one volume they printed that begins with X is very out of print. And I'm not sure. I do like my second hand, but I'm not quite sure I want a second hand Faku. Maybe. Just had dinner. How's it going? What did you have for dinner? Tell me in extreme detail. Please. I'm surprised they have that many physical copies. I don't think I realize how many Faku I have until I look at my spreadsheet. And they're still publishing them. There's still, I think they bring out currently a few every month or a few every few months. It's not that common that they bring one out, to be honest. It's every so often. Yeah, I need to add Aloha to this, and I don't know if there's any other more smaller manga publishers I could try and pick up. I think the only stipulation I've really given myself is I don't want anything that's too hard to find or too expensive, because that'll just be a bit of a pain, and I don't want anything that's too thin, because I know there are some manga publishers that have done, and they're like comics. I'm not really interested in those, because I don't know if I don't want to put them on my shelf, basically. I need them to have a decent spine at least. I'm not too fussy about how thick it is. I have a sentence of a bookworm, but I need it to not be a comic. I need it to not have a staple. Which is a very odd, fussy stipulation. Not enough! Oh my god. And then someone asked about what my most common letter was in my collection, and that is something I track. And once again, I track by both series and volume, if I can get it to fit nicely. So left-hand column is by series, right-hand column is by volume, and my most common series letter is M and S, I think. S is 156, M 151, and then I think it's the same for volume count, actually. Yeah, M at 646 and S at 803. Although what I also find interesting is series count B 78, but volume count B is 586, which is quite a lot in comparison. I should do another formula where it works out like percentage difference to see which has like the biggest jump. I'm quite surprised how many Q volumes I've managed to accumulate, considering it took ages to find a Q, and now I've got like Quality Assurance Another World, QQ Sweeper, / Queen's Quality. I've got Qualia the Purple. I'm not sure if I've got any other. I must have another Q. I can't remember off the top of my head though. And then when I look at O, and O has like One Piece, it has One Punch Man, it has Orisama Teacher, all quite long series, and it's still quite a low volume count. But S is my definite most common first letter, followed by M. I have a lot of M. There's a lot of series that begin with the word my. And it's not, I mean, I've almost got an entire half with just a series that begin with the word my, because you've got, what can I see? I've got my boy, my mind, my co-worker, my vampiress, My Dear Friend, My Happy Marriage, My Girlfriend's a Geek, My Dress Up Darling, My Gently Raised Beast, My Father's Unicorn, My Hero Academia and its Misc spin-offs, My Isekai Life, My Little Monster, My Love Mix-Up, My Love Story, My New Life's Cat, My Lovey-Dovey Wife, My Maid is a Feline Gentleman, My Room is a Dungeon Rest Stop, My Next Life is a Villainess, My Special One, and then there's an armchair in the way, I can't see the rest. You wish publishers were better at lining up spines, logos, locations, designs, numbers on spines. Yeah, I feel like, I was going to say who's worse for it. I feel like there's a mix of them. I think what's also interesting is that quite often publishers will have manga printed at the same printers. So sometimes it's not necessarily down to a publisher, it's down to where they've had it printed. As with the weird misprint I had, where on the outside it was a Tokyo Pop series, but on the inside it was a Viz series. Most likely explanation is they were both printed at the same place and they mixed up the file in some way. So that's almost more of a pain, because it's not even like you can avoid a particular publisher, you need to try and avoid a particular printer. How do you do that? Oh, that is a pain. It's one name first, second. They publish Shuna's Journey. Oh, I think I know of Shuna's Journey, but I don't know the publisher, so I'll try and look for that. How many volume 1s do you have? I can figure that out as well. What did I have filtered? Oh yes, I'm filtered on One Piece books. If I then clear. So what I can do is filter out anything that is 0, because if it's not 0, it means I have volume 1. And then what I can also do is scroll. Oh god, come on, you can do it. Ooh, do I run the thing? No, actually, there's a better way of doing this. Where are my stats? Where are my stats? So what I can do is, I have 87 series I can't start, which means there are 87 series that don't have a volume 1. So how many series do I have? Where's my series total? I'm gonna go by this one, but it isn't quite accurate. If I minus 87 from that, it's about 1390 something, but it's not quite accurate because I've got all those empty cells I need to go and update. Do I have Hot Gimmick? No, but multiple people are trying to make me pick it up because apparently it's hot trash, and I do enjoy hot trash. But I avoided it a little bit. I had like 3 different people once tell me that only terrible people read that series. And I was like, okay. And then I just didn't really think much more of it. But I should really pick it up, just on principle now. Kodansha need to work with their printers. Kodansha their Kodansha volumes are the worst. I think the short Kodansha aren't always as bad, but big Kodansha, it's like a staircase. It's like the world's worst staircase, large Kodansha, with just the woo, woo, woo. It's atrocious, and I absolutely hate that because of the variety of heights, I have some shelves where I can stand tall volumes of Kodansha, and some volumes where I can't, because I say, especially the same series, Magus of the Library, I think is my worst one, because there is an actual, like, 3 centimeter difference between some of the volumes. It's ugh. It's so upsetting. Tokyo Pop shifted to BL after the bankruptcy happened. They do a lot of Love is Love series, but they also do a lot of series still that isn't just Love is Love. It's probably like 60% Love series. They do some isekai as well. They do a lot of Disney as well. Do I count graphic novels with manga? No. But I had the intention of, you can see on the bottom here, potentially, some of these. This one's empty, but this one was for tracking RPG books of Ben's. Ben hasn't done it. Just saying. But I was going to track graphic novels like this in the same kind of way, just in its own tab. I have some graphic novels. Ben has some as well. I have some of like Lore Olympus and some... what else does Ben have? He has like some Conan and some other random graphic novel stuff. So we're going to track it on their own table eventually. Eventually. Inklaw, yes, Inklaw is another one. I don't think I've seen any stock yet over here. Ow. Is Inklaw also the one doing that Yamanda one? Or am I mixing that up? I know they're doing Oak Tree, aren't they? But they also doing the Yamanda one. Yeah, so this is my stats. Oh, I've got more stats further down. What other stats have I got down here? This is still random things that I have done out of curiosity. Oh yeah, this one is quite neat. This one is a formula that goes through my titles and pulls out which title is the longest by character length. It used to be a series called Misfit of Demon King Academy, featuring its whole subtitle, but it got usurped by Backstabbed in a Backwater Dungeon. My trusted companions tried to kill me, but thanks to the gift of unlimited getcha, I got level 999 of friends and I'm out for revenge. Oh dear. So that's quite neat as well. It's just a random formula. It was like, why not? And then I also track categories by both demographic and publisher to see like what does each publisher tend to put out, though this again I've said is categories that I've like determined, and the same with the demographics as well. I like seeing how much isekai there is just everywhere. It makes me quite happy. All that isekai. I also find it interesting seeing, like, I don't have any ecchi from Viz or Kodansha, but 7 Cs. Someone needs to tell Scifier to have a sort by publication date filter. I have been asking for that since pretty much the first time I used the site. I think they are thinking of doing it. I don't think they understood at first quite what I meant. They have added released in the last 30 days and 90 days if you're looking for recent releases. Newly listed is almost close, but a lot of publishers don't tend to release their upcoming releases in order. I think it's my problem with that way of doing it, but I have definitely mentioned it a lot of times because you can on Forbidden Planet, and I find it really, really helpful. It's a shame figures over a year old just aren't in stock on Ami. That's why you need to figure out how to use Neokyo. I was looking at Miku Nendroids on Neokyo and I'm like, oh no, I'm in danger. What's ecchi? Ecchi is like a step down from the hentai. It's like adult and smutty, but not full-blown explicit necessarily. Yeah, they might show their... Woo. Do you have more Steamship or Ghost Ship titles? I'll have more Ghost Ship titles. Because I haven't finished putting that in. I'm not I won't have accurate data, but I'll have more Ghost Ship titles. Because Steamship titles, I'm not even convinced there's like 20 volumes of Steamship out at the moment. Whereas there's definitely way more Ghost Ship. I was looking at a list of their Ghost Ship line when I was putting together the manga quiz I did in the Discord, and like there's only like 3 Ghost Ship titles I don't own, and that really kind of surprised me. I did not realize how much Ghost Ship I was collecting, so now I have to go and click the rest, so I have them all. Also got a nice graph of my ratings as a graph, and you can see I'm definitely biased towards like the 6-7 range. Volumes. So this is where I do some of my formulas for like weekly reads, monthly reads. So the weekly reads is just look for anything in the do a count of anything in the column that is between today's date and the last 7 days. And then it's the same for these counts. So there are ongoing counts. It's not just like how many I read last year. It's like anything within the last 30 days regardless. A bit more stats. How many Ben has read? Ben has read quite a few. I think Ben read more than he realised when he was putting in the data. How many I've read in each year? I'm really slacking this year. This year I think I'm just going to accept this year might be a low year. I know we're already only in May, but I think this year might just be a low year. But I'm just going to accept that. And it's the year of getting more on top of things, because there are some things that we're so close to getting more on top of. Friday, hopefully, should be able to knock off a big thing on the list, maybe. Just progress. And then this is just how many I've been reading each month. And then I just, every new year, I just move this year table down a bit and add the next one. This is the formula for working out how many volumes I've read in the current month dynamically, and then this is the formula for working out how many volumes I've read in the year dynamically. So these are the sort of formulas I think people could potentially find useful, and I will 100% include when I finally put together my blank template. Yeah, as I said, I'm probably not going to do it now because it's 10:30 and I just keep ranting and chatting, and not even just chatting about the spreadsheet. We had a whole interlude talking about the Discord server. What's this one? Current series count. It's how many... Oh, that's how many series I think I have. That's how many volumes I think I have. And yeah, so I'm doing some math based on how many volumes I think I have on my manga sheet versus how many volumes I think I have on my volume sheet. And I do think there are some missing. I think I have got... It's not... Doing it this way is absolutely not foolproof. I miss things. So I do have an intention at some point with Ben to just go around this collection and just tick off stuff. Check what I've done, basically. I'm starting to get too sleepy. I'm getting confused. What else have we got? Oh yes, volume 1s. How many volume 1s I've read in each year, because I did that. I was trying to do that tier list, that tier list video, which went horrendously wrong. So I'm going to record it as a video and post it later in the year. And I was just curious how many I read. Last year I read 166. This year I've read 54. I love reading volume 1s. Volume 1s I just find so much fun to read, and but I should really try and read more of the series. I should go past the volume 1 really. And then I have the ratings. How many ratings I have. Not rated does include stuff I've not read. That volume isn't completely accurate though. That number isn't completely accurate, sorry, because I did create the spreadsheet after I already had I had like 2,000 volumes at that point. So there is a lot of volumes I still need to go back and retroactively add ratings for. For example, most of One Piece. I read most of One Piece before I started the spreadsheet. I think I'd read up to like 85 by the time I made the spreadsheet. A lot of Naruto, Bleach, half of Bleach, some earlier stuff basically. So that's just going to take a bit of time, and I've not really pushed myself to do it just yet. I occasionally go through a series. I think I did Dr. Stone at one point where I just sat through and I flicked through the volume and I was like, I remember what happened. I'd give it a this out of 10. This is where I pull the rating for how long average it takes me to read a volume from purchase to reading. I round it up so it's not a decimal. how many unread volume 1s I have in my collection. I'm desperately trying to pull this down because I think that's a really fun number to have lower down, and then working out how many volumes in the collection Ben has read but I haven't, which I really hope that was a bigger number. Are the black boxes censored? They are censored, because under those boxes I track how much manga I pick up and how much I estimate it to be worth. And I feel like I get a lot of shit for how much I pick up, and I just don't feel like the grief of sharing those numbers publicly. I don't really care too much. I think I'm just not in the mood to have people be like, you bought how much? Because I know I bought too much. I already know that I bought too much. So that's mostly why I cover it up when I do these public things, and I don't include them in the public version of the spreadsheet. Just to save myself some grief. Because I'm a sensitive soul. Though I seem thick-skinned. And it hurts when you mock how much manga I buy. Ah, the shame. I know it's shameful. Do you wait till a One Piece volume releases to catch up? What do you mean? To catch up? I tend to release... I read One Piece as it comes out. I've just... Because I'd already read up to like 85 by the time I made the spreadsheet, I obviously wasn't tracking my rankings. Ratings per volume back then. So what I'll need to do is I just need to sit down my laptop and like flick through the volumes and be like, oh, this happened in this volume, I give it a 7 out of 10, or I give it a 9 out of 10, or whatever. So I just need to sit down and do that. I still read One Piece as it releases, but only physical English. I don't know if that's what you mean. No, I don't read anything digitally at all, and not like for any like vitriolic like, ugh, I'm not gonna read digitally, like absolutely not at all in the slightest. In fact, I'd say 80% of the time, if people ask about what series to try or anything, I will always try and push them to try digital first, especially if it's a Viz series. Viz series are so much more accessible now, at least in a number of English speaking countries like the UK, the US, Australia, I think New Zealand with the Viz app. The main reason I don't want to read digital is my day job. I am a software engineer, so I spend my day at my desk. In my evenings, I'm either editing videos or playing video games, both of which are at a screen as well. So reading manga is my one time of the day when I'm not looking at a screen. And I value it so much. It is my precious time when I'm not looking at a screen. So that is like the main reason I don't wish to read digital than anything. It's not like I look down on digital at all. I don't care that much. And I do still always try and push other people to try digital if possible, as to try something out. I'm quite happy to pick up a series knowing that I might not like it, but that is 100% not for everyone, and I really do as I say, not as I do. Is most of my mentality with manga collecting. Do as I say, not as I do. Apart from hunting for deals or buying secondhand, do that. Well, it depends on how you feel about secondhand. If you're not bothered about potentially getting some bad quality volumes, go for it. If you want pristine volumes, do not. Ella, have you come back to say hello again? There's your tummy. Ugh. Oh, don't kick me. There we go. Such a big cat. Such a big shit fluffy cat. Kodansha app is weird to use in US only. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that one had come over yet. Viz one's definitely moved. The US one was unsure. I know a lot of people were upset at first when they did US only, but I do think Kodansha came out and said that it can get tricky with licenses, because licenses change country by country, but at least with the US it's just one license, I think, for a lot of people, and then they're just working on further countries. I imagine Kodansha are hopefully going through the same thing, just a bit differently, I guess. I was trying to show Cat and then Cat jumped away. Saying that, I don't think I have too much more to show on the spreadsheet. What, any more questions? I promise. I will sort out a blank version, a template for anyone that is interested. I will probably throw it in the Discord when I get to it. Throw it in the Discord at some point. Always look at the announcements channel. If I post an announcement, it's because I'm announcing something, new channels or events or something or whatever. But otherwise, we might be good to call it. I don't think there's really much else to showcase. Oh yeah, ratings by volume. It's still very skewed towards 7. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is very out of date. But I did try to run... So, I would love to run more macros in my spreadsheet, but if you run a macro in your spreadsheet, it changes the file type, which means you can no longer open it in Excel Online, which is no use to me because I need to be able to run it on my phone, and the only way I can run it on my phone is in Excel Online to have it shared in the cloud. So I took an offline version to run this macro, and what this did was it pulled out the most common words in my series collection titles. And I need to run it again because I've not run it in like a year or so. And after I pulled out some of the words that were like as, dash, and, I'm, I forgot what sort of words those are. Oh wait, it goes up here. There we go. As soon as I pulled out the words that I like, the, of, in, and then these are the top words that were left. The most common word a year ago was world. Not sure I include Faku, considering it's like the start bit of the title. Love, another life, demon, manga, hero, reincarnated. I feel a theme. But I should do this again and maybe share it. Maybe we can have a little game in the Discord. Can you guess a word that appeared in the top 50 words or something? That kind of thing. I forgot, there is a game when you have to like uncover them. But I'll figure it out. But that might be a fun game at some point. But I think, is that? I've got some of Ben's reads, but he's not kept this up to date either. So that's not applicable really. That's the only one that's applicable. But that, I think, for realsies, might be the spreadsheet. Thank you all for joining. I hope you found it interesting. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any further questions, do just shout at me in the Discord. And if you haven't joined the Discord, do join the Discord. A link, I think, is in the description. It is a great place, and everyone has a great time, and we'll sort you into your house. You can choose which house you want to be in and earn points for your house and all sorts, and have a great time and all that, and have a great time. As I've said it like 3 or 4 times. Anything else? Like the video if you want early access to all these wonderful videos that I have coming up. Members, the whole of this should hopefully be up in the next couple of days. Then I'm going to edit the World of Books video. Then I'm going to edit the Liverpool Comic Con video. Then UPS might actually deliver this parcel, but I'm hoping by the end of like next week there'll be like 4 more videos up for members. I'm trying to keep up with 2 videos a week for members at the moment. Oh, I've got the nail video as well, and I need to make the thumbnail for that. Ben was saying that he thinks, asking if I had enough footage to do another cat video, and I might, because of like just bits I've filmed with the cats. Yeah, so many videos and a whole bunch of different types of videos as well. And if you're a member, feel free to come and ask any questions about any of these videos in the Discord members channel, and I will tell you anything you want to know about what I intend to do for any of these ones. But I do sporadically post, and then all of these ones that aren't even planned in, I'll do at some point. I'm looking forward to doing the quiz one as well, and I'll split that out. That might go down fun as well. Okay, I'm getting sleepy, so I'm gonna rush off. Probably not to bed, but maybe just lie down and vegetate a little. Maybe play some Final Fantasy XIV. I need to do more fates. I only have 9 weapons. Ben reacts to top 10. Ben reacts to my top 10 manga series. Is that one? Cool. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you found it interesting. I will do the blank one, and I will post it in the Discord when I do. And if you're watching this back as a VOD, join the Discord, and I hopefully might have done it, or just scream at me. If enough people keep screaming at me, maybe I'll do it. Have a most wonderful night, everyone. Sleep well. Have sweet dreams. Dream of beans. Dream of formulas. Dream of manga. Dream of cat. Dream of Ben. Dream of Ben. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Oh, where's I put my camera? There. Bye.